472-0463. Stop in and see Ramel Dafford and her crew, Brenda, Rob, Ryan, Ashley, Dawn, and Betty, for the best burger in town. An extensive menu, plate specials, chicken sandwiches, and the best hot dog as well. Check in with Quick Burger on South Lee Highway.
The new Hardee's Tex-Mex Bacon Thick Burger. It's not for everyone. If you flinch when sizzling fire-roasted fajita veggies pass your table, it's not for you. It's not for you if the heat of pepper jack cheese once gave your mouth a boo-boo. But if fire-roasted peppers and onions and bacon on Black Angus beef makes you want to take a massive bite while straddling the Texas-Mexico border, it's for you. Introducing the Tex-Mex Bacon Thick Burger at Hardee's for a limited time at participating restaurants.
When Big G and Fast Eddie need to make a pit stop for lunch, they head to Quiznos. Stop in and see Roger Patel and his crew at Quiznos Sub, 2151 Keith Street. Phone number 473-7976. For all your box lunches and catering needs, stop in and see the folks at Quiznos Sub. Quiznos. Toasty. When the Whoop on Wheels crew gets back from a long weekend spent in the infield in Talladega, their first stop in town is Surf's Up Car Wash. Surf's Up, 2575 Guthrie Street Northwest, located next to Cleveland Utilities. 790-5793. Surf's Up Car Wash, voted Cleveland's best 3 years in a row. Stop by and see Mike Royval and his gang at Surf's Up. For all your pet grooming needs, see the staff at Happy Tails Grooming Salon. Happy Tails, located at 2251 North Ocoee Street. Business hours are Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 5:30, Saturday, 9 to 5:30. For your appointment, call 339-5777. A full-service professional groomer. Happy Tails Grooming Salon. Come shaggy, leave happy. Whoop on Wheels is proud to be sponsored by Emmanuel and the Gondolier. If you're in the Ottawa area, stop in and see us at Emmanuel's. Phone number 910-0459. Emmanuel's, for all your Italian and Greek specialties, as well as the best pizza in town. Gondolier locations are at Ocoee, 1603 Highway 64, Benton, Tennessee. That phone number, 338-7299. Stop in and see the fine folks at the Ocoee Gondolier. And if you're in the Cleveland area, they're located at 3300 Keith Street, 472-4998. All items at Emmanuel and the Gondolier can be fixed for you to take home. Proud sponsors of Whoop on Wheels, Emmanuel and the Gondolier. When you're in the mood for frozen yogurt, come to Cleveland's Original, Perkins, 3506 Keith Street Northwest, located in the same plaza as Gondolier. Perkins Yogurt. Come see Roger Turpin at Perkins, 476-1668. Perkins Yogurt. Often imitated, never duplicated.
Pizza Hut.
Can I really get 2 medium pizzas for $6.99 each?
You sure can. It's our new $6.99 any deal.
So a meat lovers and a chicken bacon and pineapple with barbecue sauce drizzle are only $6.99 each?
That's right. Any toppings.
How about a salami, sausage, jalapeno, black olive, and onion on honey sriracha thin crust?
$6.99.
Awesome. I'll take 2 medium pepperonis.
Okay.
You want it, you got it. Pizza Hut's new $6.99 any deal. Get 2 medium pizzas with any toppings, any sauces, any crust flavors, and any specialty pizzas for $6.99 each.
Limited time offer excludes stuffed crust. Limit 1 crust flavor per pizza.
Hey everybody, it's Wolfman Jack. And hey, sit down there in that chair right there. Turn the radio up. I don't care if you're in your car or where you are. Be careful, don't get no speeding tickets. Because you know what time it is? It's time for Whoop on Wheels with Fast Eddie and Big G. Right here on Whoop FM 99.9 and WhoopFM.com out there in the World Wide Web. Everybody's watching. Be careful, y'all. Come on, strap your babies in the car and hang on, because it's Fast Eddie and Big G right here with all your racing news. Right here on Whoop FM.
There's the phone.
Hello, this is Whoop on Wheels.
Eddie?
Yes.
Hey, Steve Park.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing, bud?
Doing good, and we're happy to have you on here tonight, Steve. Again, it's been... How long has it been? About a year since you've been on our show?
Yeah, I think it's been right about a year. That's what it seems like.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try to get you on more often than that. How's that?
All right, sounds good.
And we are streaming all over the world right now at WOOPFM.com. Also. So, Steve, tell us about what you've been up to here lately. I know you've been doing a little bit of racing yourself, right?
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, I'm semi-retired or mostly retired and chasing my 5-year-old around, but we've jumped in a modified here and there, and I think the last race that we won was in a modified at the Battle of the Beach in Daytona. So, we've been teasing around with a little bit of open wheel stuff and having some fun and actually getting ready to open up a Batteries Plus Bulbs franchise store in Mooresville, North Carolina.
Well, that's great. I buy some stuff at Batteries Plus. That's a good here in Cleveland, Tennessee. It's good store. Got everything.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of everything, and we're excited to be a part of it. We like I said, we're getting ready to open our first store in the spring of 2016, and I think with my background in the automotive field and with some of the racing background I have and some of the people that I've met, I'm looking forward to the challenge, and I'm looking forward to having a prominent store open up in Mooresville, North Carolina.
Oh yeah, and I hope you do good at it too, Steve.
Well, I appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, Steve, it's Big G. It's good talking to you. Always good to see you on the track when you're racing, and glad you're doing good and got your store business. One thing I can say about Batteries Plus here in Cleveland, if you can't find a battery nowhere else, Batteries Plus has always got it, or they can get it for you.
You're exactly right, and it's one of the things that attracted me to the company is that I was actually a user myself of Batteries Plus in North Carolina, and really loved the layout of the store, the way that people treat you when you go in, and the amount of stock that they have. So I think it was just a good fit for me and my family, and besides chasing my son around who's 5 years old, he's in between go-karts and t-ball and golf and an accomplished fisherman on Lake Norman in North Carolina when the weather's decent. So man, we got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm looking forward to the new challenges of opening our first store in Mooresville, North Carolina.
Well, let me ask you a question since you brought up Lake Norman. I haven't never fished it. I've always fished down here in the South, and I'm a big fisherman and used to fish for FLW, but I fished the South part of it. I didn't ever go to North Carolina. We fished at Atlanta, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia. I might have said Georgia. But anyway, we fished the South, but is Normandy, is it a bass place where you can go catch bass, or is it more of a, just tell me what do you catch out of it, about anything and everything?
Well, actually, Lake Norman in North Carolina, you just didn't get east enough. All the places you named was a little bit west of us, and even though Lake Norman is in North Carolina, it's pretty predominantly, to me, the South, and yeah, it's got a huge amount of freshwater bass. It's got some crappie, it's got some bluegill, and it's my son, being as young as he is, he catches everything right off the dock, and we get an opportunity to go out with our friend Carson, who's working real hard to try to get on to the Bass Masters Pro Tour, and he takes us around, and it's like auto racing. It's amazing how, as we look at ourselves as fishermen, and then when you get with a guy that's semi-pro going to the pros, he really shows you how to fish and how to cover enough water to definitely get some fish in the boat.
Yeah, well, that's what I always. I was always a fisherman. We fished local tournaments when I got started, and I thought, well, I'm gonna take the jump and go to FLW and fish the Forest Woods tournament. And see, I never got the opportunity fishing with them to ever go anywhere further north than really no further north than Knoxville. Everything else was south or southwest, I guess, or west of us. Then it went south down to Georgia and Alabama. And I would always love to fish Lake Normandy up there. I thought that was always a good lake to fish.
Yeah, it's a great lake, and it's huge. I mean, people don't realize how big the lake is, and I think it's roughly around 300 miles of shoreline. So
wow.
It's got quite a bit of different coves and a whole bunch in and outs, and a lot of the older bridge abutments, as you know, are a hotbed for a lot of the freshwater bass. So, yeah, it's fun. I mean, y'all need to come down. We'll put you on some big fish here in Lake Norman.
Well, I need to bring my Ranger. I got a Ranger. I hold about 6.
Oh, dude! Oh, boy! Bring it down. It probably goes about 80 miles an hour.
I can get you about 80 on it. So I'll bring it down there. That's how I ended up with it when I fished FLW. They kind of sponsored with a boat, and I went ahead and after I retired, they gave me the opportunity to buy it, so I went ahead and bought it. I could have kept fishing, got a boat every 2 years, and fished out of it, but
yeah,
I took the wrap off of it and went ahead and bought it, and I got it less than half price, so I couldn't pass it up.
No, and that's obviously a great boat. So has it got some power poles on the back and all that good stuff?
No, I didn't got the power poles. That's before the power poles come out. Really got popular, and I like to have power poles on mine. I thought about putting them on it, but I still use trolling motor. I still do it I guess the old-fashioned way with the trolling motor, but when I'm fishing, I'm usually crankbaiting it, or I'm sprinter baiting it.
Yeah, you like the action side of it.
Yeah, I'm constantly going.
Yeah, well, that's like my 5-year-old. You think 5-year-olds have a cane pole with a bobber and a worm on it, and they just wait for the bobber to go down. But man, he wants to be on a crankbait, or he wants to be on a silly worm, or something that he's got some action going on. And usually, when a bass hits it, it gets pretty exciting.
Well, I think we got your contact information, and we kind of let it get a little bit warmer. I mean, I usually fish this time of year, but Thanksgiving's coming up, and that's my time to fish. Is this week right here is when I like to fish in Chickamauga or down in the other one. I can't even think the name of it now. I've fished it 100 times. Nickajack, I get it out.
Yeah.
But we got that Florida strain down here now, and I mean, people's catching them, 11 to 14, 15 pounds now.
Wow.
So
that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, we got the state record in Tennessee now here out of Chickamauga, and we got the state record at Spot. It come out of Parksville, and Parksville's not too far from where I live at. So
they no fish in Parksville except shark, are they?
What?
Parks.
No, there's spot bass up there, them spotted there. The one he caught was 7. It was over 7 pounds, and I think the record was 6.8 or something like that. And I think he caught one at 7.9. Then he went back the next day and almost broke his old record.
Wow.
So
that's pretty good. That's like I said, that's a lot of fun when you're on fish and you can catch something like that.
It sure is, but
Yep.
But we can fish here, we can come up there and fish. So either way, we can do it. So, but anyway, we talk about racing. Glad to hear that you're doing some racing, and just glad to talk to you.
That's right.
Steve, what was your number when you drove Earnhardt? Was it? I'm gonna go on a limb here. If I'm wrong, forgive me. I've got Alzheimer's. Was it number 1?
Number 1 car. That's right.
I think that's what it was.
Pennzoil, wasn't it?
Number 1 Pennzoil car for Dale Earnhardt, and it was actually the first at that time, it was a Winston Cup series. It was the first Winston Cup team that Dale had started. So, I'm proud to be a part of something that not only Dale had a lot of pride in, but we did too. And to be his first choice as his first Winston Cup driver for his own team is pretty much an honor that something I'll remember the rest of my life. And and as much as we miss the guy, the sport, if you think of the safety of the sport and what has come out of his demise is amazing. And I think it's good, he sacrificed, unfortunately, his life to make the lives of so many of these young drivers better in the future.
Steve, tell us how you got started with DEI. Tell us from ground up on that deal.
Oh, basically, I come from the Northeast, and you would think to yourself, a guy like Dale Earnhardt, who's rooted in the South, why would he look in the Northeast to try to find a guy to come to his team and be the guy to start his first Winston Cup team? And we were accomplishing a lot of goals and winning a lot of races up in the Northeast. And as I was trying to put my name out there and talk to as many people as I can, I had the opportunity to talk to Richard Childress about the 3 truck when Mike Skinner was vacating it and going to the Lowe's car in the Winston Cup Series. And through, long story short, through that meeting, obviously we all know Dale drove for him, and Dale got to watch me a little bit through the through the talking of what Richard had said about, the possibility of putting this young guy who was myself in the number 3 truck. And through all that, Dale reached out and gave me a call out of the blue. And, I think everybody knows the story that I didn't call him back right away because I didn't think it was true that he was calling me. And when he called the second time, I ended up calling him back, and the rest was history. I ended up moving down to North Carolina in 1996 and going to work for Dale on his nationwide team that Jeff Green had drove. And then in 97, I became the driver of the AC Delco number 3 car for Dale, and won 3 races, finished third in the championship battle in our rookie year, won Rookie of the Year, and then the following year in 98, we moved to the Pennzoil number 1 car, and at that time was the Winston Cup Series. And we ended up going about 2-3 years growing the team, and then in the fall of our 3rd or 4th year, we won our first race at Watkins Glen in upstate New York. And and from there on, I think we're in the top 7 in points and running well. And then we all know when Dale had passed away in the Daytona 500, we had come out the following week afterwards at Rockingham and won that race in Dale's honor. And
now you was in that race, Steve, when he had his wreck, wasn't you? You know that.
Yeah. Yep, yeah. Sure were. We actually, I think people remember Tony Stewart got upside down on the backstretch, and somebody had gotten into him and it caused a big one, and we had gotten caught up in that and knocked the wheel off the car, and we were in the pits and laps down, and didn't make it to the end of the race when Dale had his terrible incident and lost his life. So but it was 2001. We were in that race, and it's a day not only will I remember for the rest of my life, but I think every race fan will remember not only the good times that Dale had given all of us the opportunity to root for on the racetrack, but the tragic day and the tragic way that he had left us. And then for us to come back a week later and win at Rockingham in true Dale Earnhardt fashion, I think it was the beginning of the healing for not only DEI, but I think a lot of the race fans too.
Steve, I'll say something maybe bring back a little memory. The first driver that went to Dale Earnhardt was Kenny Schrader. and he looked in his car and started waving for somebody to hurry him get there.
Yeah, that's right. Kenny knew he was in trouble, and if you remember right, Michael Waltrip actually won the race, and it was his first victory in the Daytona 500, and I know Kenny Schrader had gone to victory lane to congratulate Michael, and whispered in his ear that Michael had asked about Dale, and he whispered in his ear, he said, Michael, it just doesn't look good. And then we find out, hours upon hours later on that we had lost the Intimidator.
Yeah. Oh, that was a sad moment. Even Dale Jr., he had both of those cars up there running 1 and 2. Dale Jr. right behind Michael Waldrop.
Yep.
And then Dale Sr. was right behind Dale Jr.
Now, Steve,
something else.
You might be able to correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I am, but I might be. I mean, a lot of stuff happened that day, but I do remember Sterling Marlin went below the yellow line, I think, was trying to pass Dale. And like you said, somebody got in the back of Dale. I don't know if Sterling got in the back of him first before he got low, then, seemed like that's when all the mayhem just, happened.
Yeah, I mean, it was a product of Talladega. I mean, when you're running 200 miles an hour, inches from each other, that
something's going to
happen.
Yeah.
And, as we all know, the wreck, we've seen wrecks that have been more dramatic and have looked a lot worse than Dale's wreck, but, unless, and I know you guys have, unless you've been at a super speedway in person, you don't realize how fast these cars are going, and TV doesn't do it any justice.
Right.
When you're in the grandstands and you see these group of cars go flying by, and the amount of wind that howls past you when these cars are going by at over 200 miles an hour is numbifying. And, when something happens, it happens in a hurry, and unfortunately, sometimes the results are not, what we'd all expect.
Well, my other thing I was going to say was about the yellow line. Wasn't it the next year when NASCAR come about that you could not go below the yellow line?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly when that came out, but I mean, NASCAR's done a great job, improving safety and also trying to protect, their superstars in the sport. I mean, they don't want to see any of their, top runners and people that have propelled the sport into what we see today get hurt. So, they've done a good job with that going into the future.
Steve, how was Dale to work for?
He was great. I always tell people, I say, he was like a second dad to me, and if you did something right on the racetrack, he'd give you that half mustache grin, and if you did something wrong, you were working in the chicken house when it was 112 degrees outside. So you learn pretty quick not to make mistakes if you don't want to work in the chicken house or out in the hot sun.
Now you're talking about a fisherman. He was a fisherman, an outdoorsman.
Yeah, he was a great outdoorsman. I remember times at the wee early morning hours that he would take me in the pickup truck and he would show me some of the new cattle and some of the new deer that he had on his farm. And I come from up in New England, around the New York City area, and I didn't have the heart to tell him that. I really didn't care about what color the deer were. But he was Dale Earnhardt.
You wasn't going to make him mad, was you?
Well, he was Dale Earnhardt, and so all I would say was yes sir, no sir.
Yeah.
He was boss.
Yeah.
He was the boss man.
They wasn't too many of them out there with bucking, was they?
No, I tell you what, I mean, he earned the name the Intimidator because, I mean, he told me even in the early stages of my career with him and stuff, we we would kick back and we would talk about the early stages of his career, and he said, you know, he wasn't a bad guy. If he was running second, he just actually really felt bad for the guy that was leading the race, because if he could get to the back bumper of that guy, he was going to rattle his cage.
Yeah.
And the reason being is that he knew that spot from second to first was worth a couple $100, and he had to feed his family and put food on the table. So,
yeah,
I mean, he'd be the first one to tell you. He said, you know, I would just feel bad for that guy, but I know that I need that money more than he did.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you what, but Steve's right. You was the first one that he hired for DEI.
Yes, sir. Yep.
I remember it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And all three of those cars looked exactly alike, didn't they, Steve? I mean, had the lines going down the side, you know?
Yeah, if you remember, I mean, you might not know this, but all the cars had those 3 lines going down the side.
Yeah.
And what it was a backwards E for Earnhardt.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you, and you answered my question right there. I never did know what that was for. All three of those cars had those lines going down, and it's the E for Earnhardt.
Looked like a 3, but it was an E.
Yep, it was reversed. You know, it was backwards with the lines going backwards. But you know, if you look at it today, in the early stages, those first couple of years, it was those stripes were reminiscent of an Earnhardt E.
Wow.
Well, you know, he, you know, since he's, you know, hadn't been around, and since he's, you know, thing about it is, you know, Heaven got a great guy. I don't care. He was one of them guys that you either liked him or you didn't like him.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is if you didn't like him, you didn't know why you didn't like him. You know, I grew up being a Bill Elliott fan, and him and Bill happened to be in the same era.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was one of them deals that I always wanted the number 9 be in front of the number 3.
Yeah.
You know, and same way with Dale Earnhardt. You know, they wanted number 3 be in front of the number 9.
Mm-hmm.
That was the battle back in.
It sure was.
So, you know, I didn't have anything against Dale. It's just, you know, my driver at the time was Bill Elliott, but, you know, when we lost him, it's just like something just got taken out of the sport.
Yeah, it took the wind out of a lot of our sails, and you know, people got to realize that, you know, nothing ever stays the same, and you know, when you have something close to perfection, like, you know, NASCAR was in the late '90s and the early 2000s, you know, I mean, we just got to all realize, you know, I mean, telephones aren't the same. I mean, you know, I never remember as a kid stopping at a payphone every time I had to make a phone call, and now we have these cell phones. So,
right.
You know, it's the same thing as the sport of auto racing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the cars can't remain the same as they did in the late '90s, and the drivers get older and they can't remain the same. And you know, the sport constantly goes through an evolution, and nobody really likes change, but it's inevitable. And I think the next, you know, we're in the process now. We just watched Jeff Gordon retire, and he comes from that Earnhardt era.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, you know, just like you talked about Bill Elliott. I mean, now we got Chase Elliott, and we got Blaney's son, and we, you know, changing of the guard coming up in these next few years. So, you know, we'll, you know, even though, you know, we think that the sport from a spectator standpoint is struggling, you know, we're just coming off the worst economy we've seen in the last 7 years, and the changing of the guard. So with everything that's been against our great sport, the sport has survived, and I think from a race fan standpoint, we're going to see a lot of greatness coming in the future.
You're right, Steve. Good talking to you, buddy.
Hey, Steve, one more question before we let you go, buddy. Our other co-host, he works out of Canada for us. He wanted me to ask Steve if he's ever fished in the Providence of Ontario, Canada. God created fish here.
That's a good question. The closest I've come to fishing in Ontario is racing a car at the Race of Champions at the Oswego Speedway. So that's
and I've heard
on the Canadian border. And at that time, I was racing so much, I just heard about how good the fishing was up that way. And unfortunately, at the peak of my career, I didn't have time to fish, and now I'm getting a little bit more time to fish.
Yeah. When did you come out of the sport of NASCAR, Steve? What year was it?
I would say probably about 5 years ago. And then I've been part-time and probably for the last 3 or 4 years. So I mean I'm 49 years old, and my son's getting ready to turn 6, and as we're talking about changes in the sport, I mean I'm not the oldest guy, but I'm not the youngest guy, and I've had a great career in NASCAR. I've been racing cars since I was 15, and I've accomplished wins in every division that I've sat in. So I put my head down on the pillow at night, being real happy with the career that I've had in NASCAR, and the people that I've met, and the people I've had a chance to talk to, and the radio shows and TV shows I've had a chance to do. So I'm looking forward to the next chapter in my life.
Well, Steve, I won't make another chapter in my life. I do want me and you to go fishing. I'm not going to let you live it down.
I'm not going to live it down. Just like you said, once it warms up, let's try to make a date sometime this spring.
Let's do it this spring. Either I come up there, you can come down here. It don't make no difference to me, because spring fishing I love to do, and I think Fast Eddie's got your information. I can text you or get a hold of you, and I like you respond back when you can, and I'll take time off. And I'll make my schedule around yours. Don't worry about it. We'll go.
All right, guys. Well, again, I appreciate it. It's always great having a chance to talk to you.
Thanks a lot, Steve, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, happy Thanksgiving to all the race fans, everybody that tunes in, and to you guys too. And wish your families a happy Thanksgiving.
It was real nice talking to you, Steve, and I miss you racing, and I miss your boss.
I do too, and I appreciate it, guys, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Bye-bye. Now, right there's a nice fellow.
Yeah.
Always has been.
Yep.
And it's 9 o'clock.
Well.
It's show off, boys. It's been great. Next week we got Morgan Shepherd. First of all, we got Uncle D at 6:30 with a prayer. Morgan Shepherd at 7. John Roberts does his Race Hub, I think it's on at 7:30. Adam Alexander, another broadcaster, will be with us at 8 o'clock. Going to be a broadcasting show. And we don't have nobody at 8:30 yet, but we will have somebody, because I've got some things in mind. Big G does too. Until next Tuesday night. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there.
Yes,
Good
sir.
night. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
It's over.
You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. WOOP FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music.
Check into cash. The cash you need today is waiting for you at Check Into Cash. It's your money, so come in and get it.
Get a payday advance today for up to $425. At Check Into Cash, we make it quick, easy, and confidential.
The cash you need is right here, so stop worrying and stop in to Check Into Cash today.
Borrowers often use payday advances over a period of months, which can be expensive. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
Guns, guns, and more guns. That's right, folks. U.S. Money Shops has just received a large shipment of pre-owned Glock 22s, 23s, and the awesome Beretta 8040D Cougar. These guns are law enforcement trade-ins that start at just $379.99 while supplies last. At U.S. Money Shops, there's no shortage of guns, so if you're looking for a great deal on a newer pre-owned gun, then check us out first.
Buy yourself a point today, the better way at U.S. Money Shops.
Visit usmoneyshops.com for the location nearest you.
Ever hear of
Speedy bonding? Oh, my brothers and sisters, when you're down and in trouble and you need a helping hand while you're in jail, Speedy Bond is the way to go. And they don't call them Speedy for nothing. And quicker than quick, they was right there to help you out. They got Speedy's got 25 years bonding people out of jail. Give them a call, Speedy's Bonding, and they'll make you feel like you're in another world. And the number is Speedy's Bonding is 479-9905. The number is 479-9905.
Hey Whoopsters, this is Johnny B. Jonesy, and I'm located at the Check in the Cash off Treasury Drive. That's next to the new Walmart, right between Cato's and the Tanner Company. Come visit me if you're in a financial pinch. We offer products all the way up to $425 on our payday advances, $2,500 on our title loans, and $4,000 on our line of credit. That offers the lowest rate guarantee when we buy out titles anywhere, anytime. And that is 2314 Treasury Drive, Cleveland, Tennessee. And that number, 423-479-2166. New customers, mention WOOP FM and get cash back on your first loan. That's checking to cash. Ka-ching!
Hardwick Clothes, America's oldest tailor-made clothing company, has been making our best-selling navy blazers for 134 years. Visit Hardwick.com to get the $295 wrinkle-resistant travel blazer at the price of $195. Order by 3 and get by 10. Free next day air. Hardwick.com, America's oldest, and sewn in Cleveland, Tennessee since 1880.
Come on by and see Busy Bee's new place at 2242 Spring Place Road in Cleveland, or call us 423-458-1822. Our grand opening will be Saturday, November 28th with a live remote by Whoop Radio. Among the many featured items, antiques, vintage, handmade items for your home, is the Queen's Tea Room, a delightful experience of imported English china and Irish linen. Select the items for your gift basket for that special someone. Select a beautiful tea set or service piece for your table on Christmas morning, or add a piece for your collection. Stop in and see us and what we have to offer at Busy Bees, 2242 Spring Place Road in Cleveland, 423-458-1822. Booth rentals and consignments always available. Join us on Facebook for exclusive sales.
Don't chase no car. Old dog don't jump and bark, but he can still bury the bone. And an old dog, he don't do much growling. Old dog, he just sits there scowling. Full moon, he don't do much howling, but he can still bury a bone. Old dog don't learn new tricks. Old dog don't fetch no sticks. Old dog don't waste his licks, but he can still bury a bone. Old dog, old dog, old dog, old dog, old dog. But we can still bury a bone. There ain't a bone between us. Old dogs don't like no switches. Yeah. Old dogs don't chase no bitches. Old dog just scratch where his itches, but he can still bury a bone. Now an old dog, he don't run no trail. Old dog don't flush no quail. Old dog don't sniff many tails,
but he can still marry a
old dog, old dog, old